Fleur Hassan-Nahoum is the deputy mayor of Jerusalem. I asked her whether Israel was becoming more isolated.
Well, I just think it's ridiculous double standards that everybody, first of all, let's start by condemning Hamas for stealing the aid that was said to be for its people. We had a ceasefire that let in aid that was supposed to last till July. But of course, Hamas comes, steals the aid, then sells it back to innocent people, and then use that money to fund their terrorist activities. So Israel finds itself in a really difficult dilemma. And the dilemma is, how do we keep something going that is in fact keeping the war going because of the aid? Now, today, food trucks went in, and today we've also rearranged a mechanism with the Americans so that innocent civilians and not Hamas can actually get the aid rather than Hamas steal the aid.
Right, but you broke a ceasefire that was brokered by your government, Hamas, and the United States, amongst others. You broke the ceasefire, you imposed a blockade for 11 weeks, and even if some of that aid ends up in the hands of Hamas, or indeed more likely in the hands of gangs that are able to operate with impunity in front of the IDF, the fact is you've not allowed anything to come in, and thousands of people, including thousands of babies, are facing starvation. That is just unacceptable.
Well, first of all, I dispute the fact that it was Israel that broke the ceasefire. The ceasefire was there in order for us to be able to negotiate the hostages coming out. And in the second round of the hostages coming out, Hamas offered nothing that Israel could accept, with a terrible price that no country would pay. So let's start with that. Secondly, it is tragic what's going on in Gaza. But again, I share the dilemma.
The tragedy is there because you're allowing it to happen.
No. You see, this is where it's wrong. October 7th was not caused by us. I think you may agree.
Yes. We've all condemned October the 7th.
All right.
The EU has condemned it. But we're now talking about the here and now.
Everybody's condemned it. Everybody's condemned it, but seems to have forgotten about it.
No, I don't think so.
And so I want to go back. Yes, I think so.
No, I don't think they have forgotten about it. What they're wondering is whether in your completely legitimate response to defend yourself, you've gone even further than you went before. I mean, you've got Yair Golan. He's a former deputy chief of staff of the IDF. He has said, killing babies as a hobby, and I'm quoting him, is there something that a pariah state does? This guy's worried about you becoming a pariah state. Your friends, Israel has many friends in Europe and in the West. They are turning their backs on you because they just think that if they don't do something, they will be accused of complicity. I mean, you have isolated yourself from the people who have protected you in the past, have spoken in favor of you, were appalled by the events of October the 7th. Is that a smart thing to do, let alone a moral one?
Again, the dilemma is this. Do we keep the war going by the fact that Hamas is stealing the aid and using it to fund their terrorist activities because they've got no other money coming in now? But what does a country do? Do they put their interests before the interests of their own citizens in the country? It's a moral dilemma. I'm not saying it's not a moral dilemma.
Is it in your interest? You're getting more and more isolated. You've been talking about this alternative mechanism in recent days. The blockade has gone on for 11 weeks. And even your friend Donald Trump was in the Middle East last week. Did he feel it necessary to show up in Israel? No, he didn't. He gave you the cold shoulder. Planned. So the point is he could have easily popped in, but he didn't. And by the way, he was talking directly to Hamas, directly to the Houthis, directly to the Syrians, directly to Iran. You are becoming isolated, whether you like it or not, even by your best friend, America.
Unfortunately, this is nothing new for us. In 1982, Thatcher also decided to sanction Israel and to postpone all sorts of things because of the Lebanon war. This is the dilemma, and this is the situation we face since 1948. Because the problem of this conflict is not that there isn't a Palestinian state. The problem of this conflict is that there's a Jewish state, and that Islamic fundamentalism rejects that. And the way that we see things is this. Ultimately, we are facing a civilizational clash here. It is Islamic extremism against the liberal forces of the West. And we're on the front lines of that. And the sad thing for me is that none of you are connecting those dots. Because if you were, you would realize that we're fighting the way that in the 1930s, the Nazis were fighting a civilizational war with the free countries. We're fighting that same war. Is it tragic? Yes. But the tragedy lies, the responsibility.
But the liberal forces of the West, as you call them, They're turning against you, aren't they?
Well, maybe they'll wake up and understand what Israel is facing. Or maybe they'll do like the Americans did, contrary to what you're describing. They've come up with a constructive and productive solution to help us through this dilemma.
Fleur Hassan-Nahoum, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.